Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're taking the resurrection of F Blue, Goku and Vegeta into Red Zone against Omega Shenron. So, if you could drop a like, subscribe if you're new, all the support would be very much appreciated. And I'm not gonna lie, this was my third time doing this. I attempted this 2 other times. One of the runs actually went pretty well, but I died near the end. And I just kind of thought, nah. You know, a bit of pride kicked in where I was like, no, I kind of want to beat this. This can be done. And the first one, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of shocked about how the Blues performed, and not in a good way. I have watched, in the first phase, after attempting this 3 times, Goku before the exchange can take double digits against the first phase against all the Shadow Dragons, I think off of no stacks, or not stacks, but 1 build up of his passive, or none, which is good. That's handy, that's helpful. In the second phase, I'm pretty sure once Jeet supers, I think he's good to tank double digits. However, prior to him super attacking, where he will greatly raise his attack and defense in the final phase against Omega, remember that's the phase you only have to worry about the KO. I say only, but you know, the super attacks are less frequent on that phase. Jeet can take at 55%. Jeet can take pre-super. Okay, Goku can take 33k before he's built up any of his passive, before he starts attacking. So actually a little bit more. I think off of 1, he should be good. Actually, that's 2 attacks. Then he takes 100, then double digits. So yeah, actually it's 1 attack he needs to build up his passive to take double digits, which is fine. It's fine. Of course, you do want to make sure Goku avoids slot 1. But back to what I was saying about the final phase. Prior to Jeet super attacking and greatly raising his attack and defense in the final phase against Omega, Jeet will take at 55% 100k on a basic attack, even with all the rainbow key spheres, which isn't many, it's only 3 rainbow key spheres. Even with all the rainbow key spheres necessary to give him the extra attack and defense and the extra additional defense he'll get when you get 3 or more key spheres obtained. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of shocked about. Even with 200k defense, which I know in Red Zone isn't that much, but I didn't think he'll be taking 100k on a basic. But yeah. So it got me thinking. I've already said during their showcase, they're not top 3 unit, they're not even top 5, they're within the top 10. I really like the unit just because I love the animations, and it's probably one of my favorite Jeet's moment, even though during the film and the arc, he was kind of robbed. Like, let's not lie, he was robbed. And I really like the animation a lot. I do, however, think if the Blues were released prior to the 7th anniversary, I do think they probably would have had a better lifespan on Global and probably would have been rated a lot more highly. Because of the time they've come out, and also typically with Global, we kind of have the advantage of knowing what's coming next. Whether we know the order or not is neither here nor there. But we know what units are coming, we know what to expect, even including the units that have already been released before them. They're just leagues above. You know, we've had major celebrations prior to their release. 7th anniversary, they're still some of the best units in the game. We had worldwide, both Carnival Goku and the LR Final Form Cooler are both above these 2 easily, and they are currently within the top 3 units within the game on Global right now, and still will be once LR Vegeta and Trunks come out. Speaking of which, we know when Vegeta and Trunks come out, they will be the best unit in the game. They are too good to not be. And even when you consider some of the units that have come out even before the anniversary, Ginyu, still one of the best TURs in the game. The androids, still one of the best TURs in the game. I really do believe if these guys came out near the beginning of the year, they probably would have had a better lifespan compared to where they've been released now on Global. So immediately you can kind of say they've kind of already been power crept slightly, because, you know, once Jeet super attacks in any of the phases, he's kind of good to tank for double digits, which you kind of expect. And I do really think a dupe would really help them out a whole bunch. But obviously, if you don't pull one, if you did summon for these guys, they can be a little shaky when it comes to being at 55%. A dupe definitely doesn't help, it doesn't solve all their problems. But I do believe they should have been released before the anniversary, because they would have had a better lifespan. They would have had a little bit more longevity compared to being released now, which is why a lot of you would have skipped these guys, which I really don't blame you. I only done it because I like the animations. It's a unit where my boy Jeets is winning, and there were discounts. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I done it. But yeah, I do really think they were kind of released at the wrong time. So with them being out immediately with the next Dokkan Fest that drops, in fact, even before the next Dokkan Fest, they're kind of already power crept. Are they within the top 10 units in the game? Yeah, but they're kind of already power crept with the units that surround them. We've already mentioned both the Year 7 LRs. You're looking at the worldwide units. Like, there are so many better units. Androids before the anniversary, Ginyu. We know Vegeta and Trunks are coming. Like, you know, they're kind of already power crept, which is a huge shame. But that's kind of what I'll kind of leave off in terms of kind of the negatives with these guys. And as I said, during the first phase, once Goku gets hit once, he'll tank double digits. You know, he doesn't get anything on Super to do with defense. So that's good. That's helpful. I mean, you kind of expect like Dokkan Fest to actually be good enough to tank double digits on that phase anyway. But considering the way they're built, I'll kind of take any W's I can get with this unit. One thing that definitely is very apparent, which I said would be in their showcase, is that you're going to probably need to exchange Goku into Vegeta as soon as you possibly can. I think on this run, I didn't have to, just because it's one of those scenarios where there were no attacks, I think, in slot 2. So, you know, if one of those happens, if you haven't had one of those anomalies where there's no, like, attack wherever you have them placed in the rotation, maybe you try and risk it, maybe there's an item active, you could maybe get that last build up in the passive off to give Vegeta the extra attack and defense he'll get once Goku's finished building up his passive. But a lot of times, as soon as turn 4 comes around, you're going to want to exchange Vegeta out as quick as possible so you can greatly raise his attack and defense, just so he has a bit more defensive coverage and is defensively solid once he supers. And this is where this unit needing a dupe comes in, because if you have a dupe, yes, Goku has his built-in additional within the 3 turns, which helps him stack a little bit more before the exchange, which, as I said, during Red Zone, you're going to need to do as quick as possible anyway. And you may not get the final build-up in his passive off before exchanging in Vegeta. If you had a dupe, you could stack him a bit more before you go into Jeets, which means Jeets can do more damage, because, doing just under 5 billion damage isn't great in Red Zone, but the thing that helps Jeets out a lot is if you get him Rainbow Key Spheres, he of course has that crit chance, and if you get him enough, he has almost a guaranteed crit, if not a guaranteed crit, with enough Rainbow Key Spheres. So he actually does pretty good actual raw damage to enemies, but a dupe would definitely help at stacking Goku up a bit more to help Jeets do more damage. But more importantly, the extra dupe to get an extra additional in there so Goku can attack 3 times will help Goku build up his passive quickly. So by the time you need to exchange Jeets, where, if you don't get the anomaly where, Goku isn't being attacked prior to you wanting or needing to exchange him into Vegeta, or things like that, or maybe you don't want to risk it, at least that way, by the time the exchange does come around on turn 4, more than likely Goku would have his passive fully built up, and you can immediately get Vegeta exchanged, immediately get him out, and then you won't have to worry about him too much compared to missing that one stack. Because it definitely is noticeable, it definitely does help, especially defensively. And then not only that, considering Jeets greatly raises attack and defense on Super, having the possibility of him doing it again means he could also crit again, doing even more raw damage to the enemy. But more importantly, greatly raising his defense an extra time by 50% to make him a lot more defensively solid. And with a Whis, with a Whis active and some other Red Zone stages, including Omega, he could probably tank a Super a lot better. But once you get Jeets out, he does pretty well, as I said, in terms of the amount of raw damage he can do because of the crits. Tanks double digits on basics once he supers. However, prior to that, yeah, no, you're taking like 100k damage on a basic, which is terrible, considering Omega I would consider as one of the easier Red Zone bosses. Not only that as well, if you're not facing a pure Saiyan enemy or a movie boss like here, because we're in the GT edition of Red Zone, you don't really have a slot 1 unit with Jeets that links up ideally well. You can link him with Birdku like I did for the last few turns, but you're missing a lot of the attack links like, Super God Combat, Resurrection of F, Warrior Gods, the easy A Tech God Goku will give you if you were facing a pure Saiyan or movie boss enemy. So that also hurts them a lot as well, where I do think ideally their best slot right now on Global and also on JP would easily be as a slot 3 unit. I do generally think that's probably their best bet just because of how power crept they already are. But do let me think down in the comments. I'm a little disappointed with their performance, but they're okay. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace.